What if being chosen isn't a mystery at all, but a sequence you can execute with precision, even when she has more choices than ever? Stay with me, because in the next minutes, you will install a new operating system, a way of moving, speaking, deciding, and pacing that quietly broadcasts value. Women don't choose effort, they choose evidence. Not promises, not speeches. Evidence. Evidence of self-respect, evidence of direction, evidence of emotional steadiness, evidence of boundaries, evidence of taste. Once you learn to produce those signals consistently, selection stops feeling random. You will no longer ask, "How do I get her?" You will ask a better question. How do I make it easy for her to recognize me as the obvious choice? And the answer begins with one brutal truth. Attraction is not a vote on your worth as a man. It is a reading of your patterns. She is not judging your soul. She is scanning your habits. Let's design the habits that make the decision automatic. Start by accepting the environment you are playing in. If she is attractive, she already has attention. Messages come in. Invitations arrive. Compliments are free and everywhere. But attention is not the same as intention. And intention is not the same as investment. Your advantage is not to be louder. It is to be clearer. Most men try to compete on volume. More texts, more availability, more reassurance. High-value men compete on clarity, clear standards, clear pacing, clear invitations, clear boundaries. The paradox is simple. When you reduce noise in your behavior, she hears you better through the crowd. This is why the strongest signal you can send at the very beginning is direction. Have a plan, not just a preference. Make specific decisions and invite her into them. It sounds like this. Thursday at 7, I'm checking out a place with live jazz and great coffee. Join if you want a simple good night. That format compresses what matters, time, place, vibe, into one clean move. The subtext is powerful. You choose, you lead, you are relaxed if she declines. Women trust men whose calendars reflect a larger purpose than a date. You need a base, purpose, standards, and rhythm. Purpose is where you are going independent of any relationship. Standards are what you will and will not accept in your space. Rhythm is how your days flow, so that you are not waiting on anyone to feel complete. Without those three, you send chaotic signals: clinginess dressed as romance, volatility dressed as passion, and over-availability dressed as kindness. She reads those signals instantly because the nervous system reads them before the mind does. Slow your breathing when you speak. Pause before you answer. And let silence do some of the heavy lifting. Stoic writers taught this long before modern psychology measured it. You cannot control outcomes, you can control responses. Emotional steadiness isn't numbness, it's composure under stimulus. She tests for that because steadiness is safety, and safety unlocks playfulness. If you want feminine energy to relax into you, your frame must be calm, even when the moment spikes your adrenaline. Now let's engineer the first impression so it does more work with fewer words. Start with body carriage. Tall or short, wide or slim, posture that opens, shoulders slightly back, chin neutral, eyes steady, steps unhurried. This is not theatrical, it's readable. A woman's attention narrows around presence. Your voice should be lower and slower than your default when nerves hit. Think of dropping the end of your sentences on a stable note instead of chasing approval upward. When you speak, reduce filler. Replace, like I mean with clean pauses. Replace babbling with a single, precise line. Curiosity beats performance. Ask one question that invites range rather than a checklist of small talk. Instead of, "What do you do?" try, "What do you like that you wish you did more?" It signals that you are listening for energy, not status. Then mirror the energy, not the words. If she is concise, match concision. If she is expressive, give her something to bounce off. Calibrated presence is not fake. It is intelligent attention. Here is the frame that moves you to the front quickly. Selective warmth with firm boundaries. Most men deliver random warmth and weak boundaries. A few deliver coldness and rigid rules. Both repel in different ways. Selective warmth makes a woman feel seen. Firm boundaries make her feel safe. Combine them and you become rare. Selective warmth is earned. Offer it when she brings curiosity, effort, or play. If she invests, you open. If she withdraws, you don't punish. You simply reduce access. Boundaries are not speeches. They are policies you live. If someone disrespects your time, the next invitation is later and more specific. If someone crosses a clear line, you name it once and then act. The line you need ready, the one sentence that changes the entire dynamic, is this: "I like where this is going, and I only move forward when respect is mutual." Delivered calmly, it is not a threat or a negotiation, it's a broadcast. You are the airport, you control the runway. The planes that follow procedure land. The ones that don't keep flying. You will stand out by how you invite, how you pace, and how you end an interaction. Your invitation should always solve logistics and evoke a vibe. Saturday, 2 options: quiet view or lively music. I'm leaning quiet. Fewer distractions give a direction with a small fork. Choice increases buy-in without dumping responsibility on her. Your pacing should create anticipation, not pressure. Anticipation is built on spacing and novelty. Don't flood her with access before you have any shared rhythm. In the early stages, too much access feels like a sales pitch. Controlled access feels like reality. You are a man with a life. She is stepping into your life, not becoming your life. End interactions on a high. That's not a cliché. It is rooted in how memories are formed. People remember peaks and endings more than averages. End when the energy is still rising and leave a small open loop. I want to hear the rest of that story about your first trip abroad. Save it for Thursday. That line uses a psychological effect that keeps her curiosity warm without manipulating anything. It is a promise to continue, not a trick. Competence is sexy, not grand competence, micro-competence in the domains that matter to the first few hours with a woman: time, taste, and tone. Time. You show up exactly when you said you would, unhurried, with logistics already handled. Taste. You choose a spot that reflects a point of view, not Yelp's top list. Tone. You can shift between light and grounded without ping-ponging. The simplest training for tone is to practice 3 gears of conversation and glide between them. Gear 1 is play, teasing, wordplay, sensory language. Gear 2 is substance, values, books, what you are building, what challenges you. Gear 3 is depth, vulnerability that is clean, not messy, honesty without oversharing. Early on, stay mostly in gears 1 and 2 and dip briefly into 3 when trust emerges. The rule is reveal, don't unload. If you reveal something real, land it with a confident frame, not a plea for comfort. I had to rebuild after a rough season. It made me more selective with my time. That line does a lot at once. It hints at history, shows growth, and signals standards. Clothing and grooming aren't superficial. They are an immediate language. Fit beats brand, texture beats loud patterns, and neutral tones beat novelty for the first meeting. Your goal isn't to be remembered for your outfit, it's to be felt through it. Clean lines, clean scent, no competing accessories. Wear one piece that is conversation-friendly, a cuff, a watch, or boots with character. Keep hands clean, she notices. Nails matter, breath matters. Your physical presentation is not vanity, it is respect. The message underneath is disciplined self-care, and disciplined self-care reads as emotional reliability. If you can't manage your own body, why should she believe you can manage a shared reality? Let's get tactical with messaging. Texting is for logistics and light spark, not courtship. You don't build desire with walls of text, you build it with timing and clarity. A clean opener after meeting looks like, good energy today. Thursday at 7 works for you? If there is rapport, you can add a concise, curated reference. That point you made about loving sunrise runs, there's a spot by the river I think you'd like. Notice the structure. Affirmation, decision, unique hook. If she is slow to reply, don't send anxiety pings. You are not available by default. You are available when it aligns. If she cancels, accept once and reschedule decisively. If cancellations repeat, you step back without drama. The sentence you need in that scenario is, let's reconnect when your schedule settles. I prefer momentum. That line is respectful and final. It protects your frame. High-value men prefer momentum over explanations. Flirtation is a dance of polarity, light push and pull built on attention, not on cruelty. Never insult or diminish to get a reaction. Teasing is about play, not hierarchy. Frame teasing around shared moments and observable quirks, never on insecurities. You can say, you have that focused look people get when they're about to dominate a board game. Competitive much? This says you notice her, not that you need to one-up her. Add concise compliments with edges, not syrup. You make that color work, beats, you are so beautiful, on repeat. Specific, sparse, sincere compliments stand out among generic noise. And always balance compliment with a move. Compliment, then action. You make that color work. Come, there's a corner with better light. Too many men stop at words. You move the scene forward. Design dates that create experiences, not interviews. Interviews suffocate desire. Movement oxygenates it. Choose activities that allow moments of silence without awkwardness. Walk and talk to a view, a small gallery, a market with sensory variety, a lounge with a live set, a bookshop with a hidden coffee bar. Build micro-missions. Find one thing neither of us would normally try. Shared novelty accelerates bonding because the nervous system codes novelty as meaningful. Keep each scene around 45 to 90 minutes, then pivot. Changing environments creates micro-fresh starts and resets any dip in energy. You are not stuck proving yourself in one chair for hours. You are curating a rhythm. And in between scenes, use brief pauses to let moments breathe. Not every silence needs rescuing. Comfortable silence is a luxury signal. Your leadership on a date is never about control. It is about holding structure. Structure is time, flow, and safety. Safety is simple and non-negotiable. You manage directions, you walk on the outside of the street, you read the environment, you pace the alcohol, you do not pressure. Seduction without respect is exploitation. With respect, it becomes art. Make consent part of the energy without making it clinical. If touch progresses, the most attractive line is often the simplest. Is this good? Then adjust when you hear or feel hesitation. Consent spoken with warmth amplifies trust, and trust amplifies desire. This is not politics. It is skill. Understand tests. Many men think women test to be difficult. In reality, they calibrate to feel you. The point is not to pass a trick. The point is to discover whether your frame is real. When she teases your plan, when she delays a reply, when she asks a pointed question, she is reading your nervous system. Answer with humor or clarity, not defensiveness. If she says, "Why that place?" don't lecture. Smile and say, "Good lighting, good sound, easy escape route if you hate it." If she throws a mild challenge, don't turn it into a debate. Acknowledge and move. When you over-explain, you leak need. When you are brief, you project certainty. And if a test is disrespectful, name it calmly once. I don't move well with sarcasm aimed at me. Keep it playful or let's skip, then disengage. You teach people how to treat you by what you reinforce. Social proof matters, but not the fake kind. The most credible signal is not how many people you pose with. It is how your life works when she is not around. If your routines are healthy, if your friendships are alive, if your hobbies are practiced, if your money is managed, if your spaces are orderly, you will radiate an ease that no line can simulate. When she steps into your world, she should feel the difference. There is order here, not control freak order, purposeful order, books on your table for a reason, a calendar with blocks that reflect commitments, a kitchen with usable tools, a home that smells clean, a desk without chaos. These are not props. They are the real background music of selection. Let's talk about boundaries and pacing and intimacy. Moving fast is not a problem if consent and clarity are present. Moving slow is not a virtue if your slowness is fear. You pace based on chemistry and trust, not scripts. A strong policy that keeps you safe and alluring. Do not escalate beyond your ability to communicate. If you cannot name what you want or do not want, pause. If you can, name it and proceed. The sentence to memorize here is, no rush. I like this, and I want it to feel good for both of us. This sentence turns down pressure without turning down desire. It demonstrates leadership in the most intimate sense. You regulate the pace. Many options become irrelevant when a woman feels you can lead both excitement and restraint. Now the quiet superpower, recovery. Mistakes happen. You will misread a tone, choose a noisy place, talk too long about a topic, or go too heavy too early. Recovery is how you turn a near miss into a point in your favor. A clean reset line works wonders. That was too much. Reset. New topic. Say it with a smile and let it go. Owning a misstep in real time shows self-trust. You are not fragile. Fragility forces her into a caretaker role. Strength frees her into her feminine, and that is when attraction breathes. There is a reason honesty-based seduction beats gimmicks over time. Gimmicks demand constant energy. Honesty compounds. When your words match your calendar, when your compliments match your eyes, when your boundaries match your actions, you become consistent. Consistency is rare in a world of performative personas, and rarity attracts. This is the deeper point behind all the tactics. You are not performing a character, you are removing the noise that hides your character. If you build the base, purpose, standards, rhythm, and train the signals, posture, voice, messaging, invitations, then your default becomes attractive even on your off days. You will not win every woman. You will be chosen by the right ones, which is the only metric that matters. Let me give you a communication stack you can use immediately, start to finish. First contact. That was fun. Thursday at 7, coffee and a view. If you get a yes, confirm once, not 3 times. On the day, still on for 7. See you at the entrance. Keep it simple. On arrival, eye contact, warmth, one sincere line. You look great. Come. Transition lightly with a micro-mission. 2 minutes, I want to show you a spot with a better view. During conversation, rotate the 3 gears: play, substance, brief depth. Lean on curiosity questions that reveal taste and values. What do you love learning that no one expects? What's your ideal Sunday morning? What is a boundary that made your life better? Don't interrogate, explore. As you walk, touch in low-pressure ways when appropriate. Light guide with your hand to steer crowds, step aside to let her pass first. Read and respect. End on a high with a time boundary that you own. I'm heading out in 15. Walk me to the corner. If chemistry was present, say it plainly. Good energy. Let's do this again. Wednesday or next weekend works. That clarity invites decision. After the date, 1 message is enough. I enjoyed that. Next Wednesday, same time, a place with live set, she is either in or out, and your life keeps moving. Women notice congruence. If you say you are selective, but you are always available, you are not selective, you are idle. If you say you value health, but you abuse your body, the body tells the truth. If you say you are building something, but your calendar shows you are available every night, your calendar tells the truth. Congruence is silent charisma. You do not need to declare it, you need to live it. One powerful weekly ritual for congruence is a self-check every Sunday night. Ask yourself, did my week reflect my priorities? Did I honor my sleep, my training, my work blocks, my friendships? Did I reduce cheap dopamine? Did I plan 1 new experience? Did I read any pages? Did I say no where I needed to? When your yes and no become precise, your presence becomes magnetic. That magnetism is not a trick. It is the feeling of a man who is grounded. Let's integrate influence principles ethically. Commitment and consistency. Invite small, easy yeses that lead to richer experiences instead of jumping to big asks. Scarcity. Your time is scarce because your life is full, not because you play hide and seek. Authority. Demonstrate competence quietly through how you handle situations, not through lectures about your accomplishments. Liking. Be likable by being warm and interesting, not by agreeing with everything. Social proof. Let her see you in contexts where people enjoy you naturally, your training group, your creative workshop, your community spot. Reciprocity. Give small, thoughtful gestures without keeping score. Endowment effect and sunk cost. Become your allies in a clean way when the experiences you create are genuinely memorable. The ingredients are simple: novelty, humor, attention, pacing. When she invests time in memories that feel unique with you, choosing you is not a gamble, it is continuity. Now to the mindset that keeps you unreactive in a world of options. Never chase validation, pursue alignment. Validation says, choose me so I can feel enough. Alignment says, let's see if our realities enhance each other. That subtle shift changes your micro-choices. You stop oversharing to create closeness. You stop tolerating disrespect to maintain access. You stop negotiating your standards because you feel chemistry. Alignment respects chemistry but obeys principle. Your principle might be, I do not tolerate flakiness more than once. I do not offer unlimited emotional labor early. I do not pretend I have no preferences. I do not escalate intimacy when I feel uncertainty in my gut. I do not keep my calendar empty for a maybe. These are not slogans. They are policies that keep you attractive to the women who value what you actually are. There is a lot of talk about feminine and masculine polarity. Strip away the labels and it means this: one of you is primarily driving structure. One of you is primarily driving flow. If you want her to relax into flow, you must provide structure without rigidity. Structure is not barked orders. It is the quiet confidence of a man who can plan, adapt, and protect. Flow is not chaos. It is emotion, play, intuition, and receptivity. You invite flow when you demonstrate that you can hold both clarity and warmth. For example, you can say, we'll start at the gallery and see where it goes. I have a cozy spot in mind if we get hungry, clear, flexible, safe. That kind of leadership is extremely attractive because it reduces cognitive load. In a world of indecision, decisiveness is care. Do not confuse intensity with compatibility. Early fireworks can blind you to patterns that will exhaust you. Compatibility looks like rhythm, ease in conversation, shared humor, aligned values on time and family and money, similar appetites for novelty or routine. Stay sober enough to read those signals. A useful rule early. Take the edge off your own infatuation by doing something that requires discipline the morning after a great date. Train, write, build. Remind your body that your life is bigger than a crush. Women can feel when you are centered after a high. That centeredness is rare and very attractive. If you want a simple weekly blueprint, use this. 2 nights are for you alone. training and creation. One night is for your circle. Real friends, male and female, where laughter and challenge both happen. One night is for dates or exploration. One morning is for nature or movement outside. 1 hour on Sunday is for planning. This blueprint prevents you from pouring everything into pursuit. Your calendar becomes a mirror of a man who is already fulfilled and expanding. Selection happens in the margins of that expansion, not in the starving center of it. Let's sharpen your language, the micro-sentences that keep you out of the needy category without becoming aloof. When she asks, "What are you looking for?" avoid the defensive, "Whatever happens." That reads as drift. Say, "Genuine connection with momentum and respect." "I like things that build." When she asks, "Are you seeing others?" handle with calm honesty appropriate to the stage. Early on, "I meet people. I'm selective. I don't rush commitment and I don't waste time." That is clarity without oversharing. If a conversation gets heavy too early, you can say, "I'd rather learn you with laughter first." That line resets tone without dismissing seriousness. If she pushes boundaries with teasing that cuts, respond with warmth and line. Keep it playful. "I'm not the guy for jabs." If logistics hit a snag, own it in one sentence and pivot. "My mistake on the time. New plan. Same vibe." Keep your lines short, your eyes open, your energy forward. Now, how do you differentiate from the crowd in the digital layer? Photos and captions that look like everyone else blur together. Show range. One clean shot in neutral color, one in motion doing something you actually do. One close-up with relaxed eyes. One in a social context where you are engaged, not posing. Write captions that sound like a real man, not a highlight reel. One sentence of taste, books, music, food, and one sentence of values. Time, integrity, curiosity, beats a list of cliches. When you message, be the guy who proposes a plan in 3 exchanges instead of the guy who lives in chat for 2 weeks. Digital congruence again. Decisive, respectful, brief. If you are tempted by tricks, remember this. Every trick you rely on becomes a tax you must keep paying. Negging, false scarcity, aggressive frames, excessive mystery. They might spike a reaction, but they corrode trust. And trust is the multiplier. Attraction without trust dies quickly or turns chaotic. Attraction with trust grows. Build the version that grows. That version is built on these pillars you can repeat everywhere. Leadership without control, humor without cruelty, curiosity without interrogation, standards without arrogance, intimacy without pressure, honesty without dumping, momentum without chasing. Live those and you will feel the difference in the quality of women who choose you. There is a science to small wins. The nervous system learns through repetition and reward. Stack 3 micro wins this week. 1. Refine your first invite template and use it. 2. Choose one venue that will be your go-to for first meets and learn its flow. Best table, lighting, quiet corner. 3. Practice the end on a high move in every social interaction, not just dates. Leave people wanting 5 more minutes instead of wishing the conversation ended 5 minutes ago. Those 3 alone raise your baseline. Train your attention like an athlete. When you are with her, be with her. Put your phone away. Look at her when she speaks. Track the thread of what she cares about and bring it back later. You mentioned you love sunrise runs. There's a spot I like. Next week, if you're up for it. That's not a script. That's listening plus leadership. The bar is low because most people are distracted. Your undivided attention is luxurious. Luxury is attractive. When conflict appears, do not panic. Conflict handled well increases attraction. The rule is simple. Slow down the tempo, simplify the issue, speak from ownership. Avoid "you always." Use "I feel" and "I need." If something matters, say it once without drama, then let your actions align. Do not threaten to leave over small tensions. Do not tolerate patterns that erode you. If you need to end it cleanly. This isn't matching how I live. I appreciate the time. Take care. That dignity separates you in a culture addicted to mess. Your body is your first signaler. Train strength, train breath, train rest. Strength builds the look and the feel of competence. Breath gives you steadiness. Rest gives you patience. A man who sleeps well, lifts or moves hard, and breathes slowly under stress feels different in a room. That feeling precedes language. Add one ritual that makes you more centered before a date, a short workout, a cold rinse, a 10-minute breath sequence. Entering a meeting calm and alert gives you an unfair advantage over the anxious, overeager noise most women endure. Finally, install the mindset that keeps you immune to the highs and lows of the dating market. You are not auditioning for approval, you are inviting collaboration. You are not competing with thousands, you are competing with the version of you that leaks need, hesitates, and over-explains. Replace that version with the man who moves. Move toward what you want with clarity. Move away from what drains you with calm. Move through setbacks with humor. Move with purpose, whether she says yes or no. When you live like that, a woman with many options is not overwhelmed by noise. She is relieved to find signal. You become the place where her nervous system can relax, her curiosity can expand, and her desire can play. That is what being chosen feels like from her side. It's not fireworks every second, it is a widening sense of, this works. So here is your immediate sequence. Audit your week and install the rhythm that makes you less available by default and more attractive by design. Clean your space until it reflects a man who respects himself. Choose one go-to venue and memorize its flow. Refine your first invitation line and your respectful boundary line. Practice your 3 conversational gears and your end on a high move. Text with clarity and pace with restraint. Lead gently, but unmistakably. Offer selective warmth and firm boundaries. If someone respects your structure, open more. If someone disrespects it, step back without heat. Repeat, refine, and breathe. Not because any woman demands perfection, but because your future demands standards. Women don't choose effort, they choose evidence. Become the evidence.